Welcome everybody to the Ayer Town Conservation Commission meeting for Thursday, October 9th, 2025. In attendance we have George Bacon, member, Jenna Maya, member, Heather Hampson, conservation agent, Jessica Gino, member clerk,
Otherwise, passing it over.
and myself, Mark Phillips, vice chair, serving as chair tonight for this meeting. John Schwallenberger is absent for tonight. And looking at our agenda, first item is approval of the agenda. Do we have any changes or adjustments?
The only item we have to change on the agenda is the agenda that was posted had a note stating that the hearing tonight had a request to be continued. That is not the case. I realized that today, so it was too late to amend the agenda, but I did let the abutters know that the item would be discussed and they had no concerns.
So the one that was posted like online, the town website.
Had a little thing in parentheses saying that it was a continuation.
And it's different than what
it's different than what we have here. But
gotcha.
I did reach out to the neighbors and they were okay.
All right, well,
Made
thank
every
you for
effort
doing
to
that.
fix my issue.
Proactive, appreciate that. Okay, so with that, outside of that change, do we have approval of the agenda as updated for tonight?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Passes unanimously, as John would say. Next item is approval of the meeting minutes from September 25th, 2025. Everybody get a chance to peruse them, take a look. Any issues, any concerns, any adjustments? Nope, okay, hearing none. Here we get it. Approval of the meeting minutes from September 25th. Motion for the approval of the minutes from September 25th.
As written.
As written.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Passes unanimously. Alrighty. So with that, let us open the public hearing, the continued public hearing for the notice of intent, DEP file number 100-0500, Creative Materials, 12 Willow Road. You guys want to come on forward?
I won't put the screens on until we advance.
Yeah, take the two cushies. Go ahead.
It'll keep me focused.
Out of this chair.
Good evening. For the record, Jim Basile, Goldsmith Press and Ringwall.
Motiv, GPR.
Sorry, can you spell names?
Oh, sure. Basile, Basile.
And you're with?
Goldsmith Press and Ringwall, or GPR.
Sorry.
No problem.
Limhotiv, Limhuot. Last name Tiv, Tiv.
And the applicant, Joe Morano of Creative Materials, is also present. So, since it's been a little while since our last presentation, I'm thinking that I will just give a brief summary of the project again, and then if there's not any follow-up comments, we'll get into the comments from DEP and Heather and how we addressed it and any revisions to the plan.
Yeah, that sounds perfect. Great. Yep. Bring us up to speed and then let us know what changes and
Yeah.
how we're addressing. That'd be great. Thanks.
I can't. It creates a lot of background noise, so I'm trying to help the APAC out and not put it on. But if we need to, I can put it on.
Okay.
Okay. I figured when we need to use it, we'll just do it for the plans to help with that issue.
Yeah, sure.
Figure it out.
Absolutely. So again, Jim Basile, GPR. On behalf of Creative Materials, prepared a notice of intent for the property at 12 Willow Road for work within the jurisdictional resource areas. The property, 12 Willow Road, is partially developed as the headquarters of Creative Materials. The site contains a roughly 24,000 square foot building that is a mix of office, lab, and warehouse space. It has an existing parking area to the north and west side of it, which is accessed via a driveway off of Willow Road. The driveway also extends around to the east side of the building where there are 2 truck loading bays for regular truck deliveries. And there's also packed gravel pavement area that trucks will come and turn around to be able to back into the loading bays. There's a few resource areas associated with this property. There is a Zone A located to the north of the property. There's also the unnamed stream, I think, that feeds into Bennett's Brook, which is classified as a perennial stream that projects a 100-foot and 200-foot riverfront area onto the property. There's also 2 bordering vegetated wetlands on the limits of the property. One smaller one located on the western portion of the property, and one located along the northerly property line. This one a little bit larger, but both of those project a 50-foot no disturb buffer zone and 100-foot buffer zone onto the property. So ultimately it kind of limits where we can expand the development and creative materials. They've been here since 2011. Their business has been growing to the point that they'd like to stay at the property, and that requires them to construct this warehouse, approximately 19,550 square feet. This would be located on the east face of the existing building, which its location is where the trucks come in to do their turnarounds before backing in. So this also requires a need to increase the pavement area so that the trucks have an area to come in and turn around. A couple of the changes that we had made since the last time, just to kind of point them out, and then I'll get into them a little bit more later on, was we had received feedback about the limits of the pavement and its relation to the 50-foot no disturb zone. The Conservation Commission asked us to review if a retaining wall would help limit the amount of disturbance in that area. We did take a look at that, and it would seem that a retaining wall in that area would help limit the amount of grading there. So we have one proposed in there now that did slightly end up adjusting the pavement to come out a few extra feet just to give some margin of error for truck turning, since we went from a gradual slope to now have about an 11-foot tall wall. So there is that difference over in that area. And then following a site walk with the Conservation Commission, we did take a look at the I think the southeast corner of the development to see if we could tighten up the grading, as well as move the dumpster pad so that we could reduce the amount of clearing and also just kind of limit the amount of disturbance in that area. So we did take a look and do that. We also did locate the large trees that are 6-inch or greater in height, and we have those shown within the limits of the disturbance on the property. I think that's the majority of.
With the location of the trees, we also did a tree count. I think in total we took out 20 trees within the buffer limit, and we provided compensatory planting of shrubs, trees, and plant that are shown on our landscaping plan that was submitted as part of the revised material. Just to kind of talk a little bit more about that retaining wall, we did, like Jim said, we did bump it out a little bit, bump out the pavement width a little bit, just because we tried, again, trying to give a little bit of margin area for the vehicles that are turning in this area, just because
Sure.
very steep, and you also want to give a little bit of shoulder for the actual guardrail that we're putting in, just to be sure that it has enough force so that or enough earth in there so that it doesn't just give way as soon as somebody hits into it.
Right.
That's kind of the major changes that we want to point out. And just give a very brief update, just because we went before planning board as well, and we did have a site walk with planning board members. Really the biggest thing that may be worth mentioning is addressing the comments from DPW/town engineer regarding the question about the existing basin. Ultimately, it was assessed that this is a site that's been here for a very long time. It has no drainage issues. It seems like the infrastructure that are in place have been working pretty well and have been maintained for all these years. For us to look at the existing basin that is within the wetland area, anything that we want to do within that area, you have to provide compensatory wetland replication. because you're essentially filling in wetland area to even get to do anything at that point. Which is why we have a waiver for the storm to address specifically the storm water. We are reducing the overall peak runoff rates going into the wetland area, but we're also capturing and treating the existing flow that's going into the CDS unit for the existing system that's on site right now. So we are providing drainage improvement. It's just that to be able to assess it for the entire site per the stormwater regulations would be too cost prohibitive, and it would be trying to fix something that isn't broken and it's been there for 20 years. That's kind of the conversation behind it.
If there's no follow-up questions to about the site, we can get into the comments from Heather and then DPW as well.
Do we have a hard copy of the plan if we're potentially not going to pop that up? Just I'm hoping to see like a before and after with the pavement grading. I did not get a chance to see that on my iPad. I couldn't get it
It's a
zoomed
hard
in.
copy of the revised plan. I don't know if it's gonna have, I don't know if they did originally approved and then the new, but.
They do have the old one here in the half size,
Yeah.
so let me see.
Was it 3 feet at the closest to the resource area, and then like 5 feet outside the resource area? So I do have the old plan, but it's kind of you don't have
Would
it.
have what you're looking for on it. But again, I mean, I can put it on the screen if you want.
I think at this point we might as well.
No, I just want to give them fair warning.
Here, this is what I'm looking for.
I have the colored plans on the screen.
Is it okay if we do that, Barry, for a moment?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all
Thanks.
right.
It is in the paper copy. Unfortunately, I didn't realize it wasn't in the colored one, and I released it myself. I had to email it to the town and share it.
landscaping in this packet?
Yes.
There we go. Is there blank sheet? I know we had chatted about those woolly, what do you call it, cedars, not cedars, what are they?
Arborvitaes?
Yeah, they were great, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that those could be utilized? And then, I guess also, what about up in here? Seems to be quite the spot from the neighbors with regards to things that are gonna be pulled out of here, out of this area and such.
I don't even think, oh, this section right here. Yeah, we are clearing quite a bit there, and I think ultimately, you know, when we were out there with the planning board members, Danny actually had made a suggestion about getting an arborist involved during the
Oh, yeah.
clearing of the trees.
Okay,
Ultimately, looking at those trees right now, a lot of them are very, very skinny
sure.
and would be very prone to falling over. So I like to say like this is as much as we're clearing, but ultimately there might be a little bit more.
Okay,
But not a whole lot we can do if it is an area where the trees are interesting to try to maintain.
yeah, I guess, and again, just my opinion, but I, you know, in the event those are coming down, they're, you know, just a nuisance, you know, in the way while you're constructing stuff. I'm thinking more, again, from what we had heard from neighbors and all was, okay, now I've got another, basically the building size is practically doubling,
Yep.
right? So, while there's not really a lot of tree covering, honestly, from what I saw,
Yep.
the fact that there's now this massive building there, just, that's, you know, obtrusive.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking, you know, just something that covers it, and it covers it all year round, not just deciduous, you know, so something like those arborvitaes that deer don't seem to want to nibble on them. I don't know why. They nibble on all the emerald ones I've seen, but they don't seem to like eat these things. They grow fast, they're bushy, and I think you could selectively plant those, almost like blocking out the whole addition, honestly, is what it seemed like. So just something I would like to be considered.
I would say that, you know, we can certainly discuss it a little more and have that, I guess have the talk of, well, I think my biggest concern is that the trees that we're taking out at that area sits probably roughly about 15 feet lower than the grade at the property line.
Okay.
So we are taking out the trees, the lower trees.
Mhm.
We're more concerned about, if we're talking about screening, we should be concerned about the screening for the upper level. If I'm understanding that correctly, right?
Mm.
So, you know, it might be a conversation of providing some arborvitaes along the property line, but on the upper side rather than the lower side.
Yeah, and that'd be,
Um,
I think whatever, like I said, it makes sense, it helps. I know these things grow pretty darn quickly.
Yeah.
You know, a couple feet a year actually, you know, which is
Okay.
generally,
We'll have to take a look at that.
Surprising.
I'm not sure. I can't remember how it looks like at that section. It's at the top level.
yeah.
I have to, yeah, we'll have to see and go check it out. If we can make that accommodation, just to add a few arborvitaes, we'll try to do so.
Okay, okay. So you wanted to go through
Yeah,
the
yeah, we go
questions
through,
specifically?
Yeah, comments.
Comments, sorry.
If you want, for a matter of time, just because I think the comments I initially gave to the planning board in regards to the project have basically been addressed. The most outstanding concern and issue we have is in regards to the riverfront area and the what is in the application of as degraded area, and that's the outstanding, I think, concern that and question that I have in regards, and same with DEP was their main comment in theirs, which was their comment 3. So I think
Okay.
if that's fine with you guys to just, if ones that aren't really outstanding so much anymore, to just focus on the ones that are, and Yeah, so we went out on the site today, just because the question of the degraded area comes up of what is a degraded area, riverfront area. So I just wanted to go back out on site and physically see it, because when we went out for the site walk, we didn't really spend that much time in that area. I don't think it's very much, we didn't really have it mapped out to show where it was. So we went back out and looked at it today.
So, just very quick, we did show the degraded area on our plan. that was
Okay.
submitted. I don't know, could you bring that up again? I just want to point it
Can
out.
I bring it up? Yeah, I can. I accidentally closed it, so get to give me a second.
Was the degraded area, was that the area that had all the kind of
Junk.
leftover stuff from before?
Yeah.
Yeah, where all the goldenrod and stuff was growing.
Okay, and we were looking for the outfall and such.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right.
What page it's on?
It should be really on any page. I mean, I guess if you want to bring up sheet 6.1.
Should try to save time.
Yeah.
Okay. Just in a matter of saving time before I make. Right, you're gonna be like that. But no. Here we go.
what is newly degraded and what is being rehabilitated. And it's not large, but it is a 20 square foot decrease in the area. So we are meeting that 1-to-1.
Essentially, we're not counting the area that we're putting in new pavement as what we're restoring.
Okay. But you're restoring more because you're making the slope more gentle? Is that essentially the idea? Yeah. Okay.
It's a little confusing on I'm just trying to get a better understanding of it from DEP on it, just to ensure that I'm.
And I guess I don't remember it, but, so there actually were trees on it?
Yeah, I went out there today to verify it, because see it's degraded. I'm like, well, it's vegetation there. How's it
Big
degraded?
trees, like, are they-
And there's and the only place that doesn't have vegetation growing is under the tree canopy.
Yeah, and
Because obviously you're not going to get stuff growing there. But in regards, when you read how 10.585 reads, it says asks of topsoil, and yeah, in order to do I mean, you could ask them to do soil tests to prove that there's no actual topsoil there. I mean, there is vegetation, but does that mean it's topsoil? So you'd have to do to make sure you have that organic layer, and it's not really there. Whether it's the entire section that they're claiming is degraded, I don't.
Okay.
So
They look good.
I've always understood as topsoil as layers 6 to 12 inch of organic that is free of debris as well as junk.
Yeah.
That's how I've always looked at it. We had a similar project in Wayland that got approved and built very recently at 129 Boston Post Road in Wayland. Very similar to this one. They have a roof front area and a degraded area in the backyard. The backyard was being used as, I guess, overflow parking because there's gravel just kind of all over, right up to the wetland area. Part of the application process with that was making sure that the area is degraded, and even though, yes, there are grass growing through it because they only use it very seasonally, it is still considered degraded area under DEP because there's no absence of topsoil, basically. We had to go through that determination before as well.
Mm-hmm.
And just to kind of give an example. As far as the trees, this mound or this degraded area has been there for over 30 years now. So I would imagine that in a span of 30 years, of course, trees or whatever can sprout up. But to quote Dr. Ian Malcolm, life finds a way. So.
Oh, I 100% agree. I have to read what the paper says in black and white, and that's where I have to question DEP just to be like to make sure we're going by the appropriate section, and if we are going by F, we're allowed to grant you the ability to take those trees out.
And I think it's a fair question to ask as well. And again, as I said to Heather in the field, the only thing we ask is that we've always been told by DEP and their circuit rider that DEPs give their comments and then they go away. They don't do a follow-up. They don't.
All you get from us.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would just ask that, any determination or I just hope that it's not additional comments that we have to address further. And furthermore, I want to almost direct my question to the commission members. What do you guys think? Because ultimately it is the commission that has to vote on this.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe that the explanation that was provided makes sense? And again, I don't mind if we push it to the next meeting so that Heather can get clarification. I just want.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a given.
Yeah.
We want to make sure she gets her
Right.
clarification on that before we rule on it or vote on it. Rule. Vote on it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm definitely interested to understand what's in there, and I'm sure it's not great stuff. So I'm all for having it removed and, topsoil, whatever, good stuff put back in. So that's kind of where I would probably sit. George.
I agree.
Yeah. So, like you said, who knows what was 30 years ago, and hopefully you only find
Hopefully no
human
dead
kind of
bodies.
stuff.
I mean, out there today, looking down the hill, there's definitely, I don't know, a washing machine or some square metal box down the end of that slope there. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, I guess I'm pretty okay. Get rid of a tree to get a
Yeah, no,
washing machine out of there.
I agree that it is going to restore the I just want to make sure that I'm reading this right and the plans and everything, the explanation.
I totally support you. I mean, yes, let's get it clear, but at the end of the day, I think it kind of Linwood said, right? Like, okay, these are our comments.
Yep.
Take them for what what you had, and go ahead and decide what you want to do. So,
Yep.
so yeah, implement as you see fit, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. Anything else you want to present before we go around and talk about other questions from others? You're good? Okay.
Do you have any comments or questions? The 50-foot waiver, no disturb waiver, the addition of the training wall did push that back some, but they're still doing work within the 50-foot do not disturb area.
Okay.
I guess we can explain that a little bit. I guess the design behind that a little bit. So we did put in the wall because we do think that it is a very good suggestion as an alternative, because it does limit the amount of trees and viewing and disturbance in general, especially in that area. The problem is, following the criteria of the restoration of the degraded area, they don't want to see you just take out this mound and then just put a wall next to it, because then you'll have a sharp drop.
Right.
That water over time will surely scour that area. Then you have to put down riprap, and it's a whole different story. They don't want to see gentle slope, and the benefit of having that gentle slope is that you get this strip of roughly about, I want to say 50 feet of grass filter.
Mm-hmm.
So grass filter strip has always been known in the Mass Stormwater Handbook to provide very good TSS removal, or just removal of pollutant in general before going into the wetland area.
Mm-hmm.
So we look at that as something that we want to do, we are required to do per the restoration area. And in doing so, requires you to tie back the grade associated with that gentle slope to your wall.
Mm-hmm.
And that grading associated with that gentle slope going back to your wall is still within the 50-foot no disturb. Can't really do much about it unless we want to wall it all the way, essentially.
All right. Thanks for the explanation. Appreciate that. Anything else you want to have?
No, that was it. I just wanted to make sure you wanted to just go over that, because that's one of the determinations you have to make in order to move this application forward, is to approve the waiver,
So,
along with the order at some point.
okay. So, assume we continue to next meeting.
Correct.
You get your answers from DEP.
Mhm.
We vote separately on the waiver, and then
Yes, you vote separately on the waiver, and then you issue the order.
Okay. All right. And we can do all of that.
You can do
next
all that
time.
next meeting. You can do one tonight or both next meeting.
I guess I prefer just waiting for next meeting. You?
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, we'll just wait on that anyway. So, okay. George, any final questions you have?
Just on DEP's last comment, number 5, deed restriction, memorializing, land alteration, all that stuff is
Yes.
is already done, or
No, that's a condition that we can put on there.
right?
That's per the act that allows us to do a deed restriction to put that restriction on it, that the property cannot have any more
Yeah.
work further into the riverfront area.
Okay. So we're
So we
going
can
to
look
keep
at drafting some sort of condition to that point of what percentage or what you'd like to see.
Okay.
But that is a condition we can put on the.
And when they say deed restriction, that memorializes the limit of alteration.
Mm-hmm.
By saying memorialize, that essentially makes it perpetual, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's why the deed restriction, so it follows the property, not the current owner.
Okay.
So if the current owner decides to sell and the new owner comes in and says, "Oh, I want to expand it even more," it's on the deeds. They cannot.
Okay.
So basically, we should.
Okay with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is which direction? Just in the back, right?
Yeah, towards the river.
Making sure.
So you're just going to replicate the conditions
Yeah, so
the
the,
DEP suggests.
so it's
It's in there under that section, 10.58H is the issuing authority.
can, upon issue to consider compliance to request a, some sort of, just different things we can do on there. So we
Yeah.
can put that on there.
Okay.
I've only ever done them with septics before. But yeah.
Cool.
But if the buffer's already there, I'm restricted already, right?
I think by the wetland protection regs, we're already locked into what we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just, it's one further layer of protection.
Yeah, so let's say next time we vote to say we provide the waiver.
Mhm.
Somebody doesn't come back and say, well, you gave them a waiver before, give me another one. That's it. Right. So then moving down to number 4 in that number 5. So then 4 says perpetual conditions for O&M plan activities.
Mm-hmm.
Why does that not get tied into the deed then, so that the
Oh, the
O&M
O&M?
activities?
The O&M
Continue
is tied
to
to
the next owner.
the O&M are recorded at the registry of deeds already per the stormwater regulations of the town. So
Okay.
the O&M plan's already recorded.
So they would transfer to a new owner in the-
Correct, yeah, that they're already recorded per our regulations. So we wouldn't have to make that a condition because per the planning board's stormwater regulations, the O&M plan's already recorded.
Thank you for clarifying. All right. Other questions, Jess? Jen?
Nope.
You good?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Once I get a better grip on all this stuff and get all my
Right.
outstanding questions answered, I'm good.
So can we have a motion to continue public hearing notice of intent DEP file 100-0500 for Creative Materials, 12 Willow Road to our next meeting, which would be October 23rd,
Yeah.
2025.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay? Passes unanimously. Thank you very much for your time, gentlemen.
You lost it.
I really don't like that chair.
That would never happen with wheels.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
I lost my agenda. Did you steal it, George?
Conservation updates.
Thank you. Next agenda, item, conservation updates. Have at it.
So we had Newton Street obviously last Saturday. Thank you everybody for stopping by. What?
Great work on
Oh,
that.
thank you. We gave out lots of stickers and seeds to people. A lot of people didn't want to take seeds because they had tried before and they didn't get them to take. But I said, but they're free, so you can try again. Nobody took your water jug because they all already had some, but they all took the directions on how to do them because when I said they had a hard time with it, I go, well, you can try them. Start them inside in the greenhouse in your house over winter and then plant them. Oh, that's a good idea. So hopefully we see a lot more wildflowers popping up around.
You just recycled all the bottles.
Yes, I did. I left them for DJ for the DPW to take to bring to the transfer
Good deal.
station.
Thank you.
Recycle them.
Yeah, it's funny. I had the bag of them, and then my wife was like, "You got a whole garbage pan or garbage full of them too." I was like, "I had a whole other can." I was like, "Oh, I forgot about those." I had like another 30, well, not 30, probably
So,
another 15. So I was like, "Oh, let's just give her."
Yeah, so that went well. We did get another person that would be willing to volunteer for pocket forest stuff too, which was nice. So that was fun. Tuesday, I had gone to a public forum for the rail trail. DCR is going to be repaving. Like they're going to redo the rail National River Rail Trail. So they were looking for public input on that. And I have the ability to have it in 2 spots, or work here in Ayer and live in Pepperell. So some of the suggestions I gave them more or less on a conservation standpoint were to have educational signs throughout the rail trail of, I don't know, wetlands or plant identifications would probably be helpful to people, given that they like to state that this is a rail trail that's got surrounded by water, but yet there's no information on the benefits of wetlands. I thought that'd be important. And second, like I said, on a conservation standpoint, because of where I think it's Ayer Solar 1, Ayer Solar 2 are basically separated by James Brook and all the wetlands, that when they go through and assess the culverts and stuff in there, that they might want to, and we have all that beaver activity over there, that they might want to check the size of that culvert and make sure it's large enough if it doesn't need to be extended. Just because I know Air Solar 1 has been flooded out before the access in Rosewood has gotten flooded, that it's only a matter of time before they keep going upstream into another direction. So, just other suggestions about having signage for our lovely one here, because I'm like, it just ends in air and there's no anything. It's just like,
Yeah.
you hit Main Street and that's it. It's like, what happened? So hopefully they look into that. They will be doing a public, so that was a public forum. They will do a public comment period on that. And if I get word on when that is, I will send that information for you all if you want to make any comments. In regards to the rail trail, we have given, the planning board has not met since we had our last meeting on the conservation restriction for Lincoln Hills. So they'll be discussing that on Tuesday. It is in the draft in the draft decision that the commission would hold the CR, given that there is open space, public access with the possibility of a trail on there, and then possibility of reimbursement for maintenance on that. Those are conditions within the decision.
Okay.
Just reading through the minutes since I wasn't there last meeting, this doesn't replicate what we saw at Shaker Mill about, where you had the little strips of conservation.
There's some strips.
There is technically only one, and that's along Central Ave.
Okay.
Everything else, where you do see, and you're looking at the open space plan, you see narrow strips where that loop is. That's already town-owned land.
Okay.
And then in the easement, because they had to take the utility easement out of the buffer, so it looks as two different colors on the open space plan, but it will technically just be one contiguous area. So there is some, not to the extent I think that we have on Shaker Mill Pond, but there is some already. I made a couple comments that didn't make it into the decision just because of the enforceability of it. But I did speak with the fields, and I think they're going to and try to do their best on this to try to limit the clearing, not during bird nesting seasons, during animal nesting. So I think they're going to try to do the clearing as they can through the winter. Obviously not stump, because that would be bad, but like try to do some of the clearing in the wintertime when there isn't a nesting time going on. So that's not, doesn't stop it, but it's little things that we try to do to help. So yeah, the crows would be happy, and the hawks, and the turkey vultures, and maybe some squirrels.
Yeah.
So that'll be on Tuesday. I think they'll be voting on the decision for that. Trying to think what else was going on. I did hear from Anna Wilkins in regards to our contract we have with North County Land Trust and the CRs, and she's in the process of creating maps for Pine Meadow for that CR. And she had the question if she should include the Tuger property. I'm like, yes, that's going to have its own CR, so yes, we do.
Yeah.
And if she if she needed more information, I know I have some somewhere, and I just haven't heard back from her on that.
I'm sorry, what was the other property?
Tuger property?
T-O-O-K-E-R. Yeah.
So I think that's it. I have the killer.
Have some more chocolate. All right. Jen, any update?
No, I do want to clarify, is it illegal for us to feed, I don't know, crows in the state of Massachusetts?
We can't bait animals, I know that.
It's not.
Yeah, I mean, technically, I think there was a crow season. If you're not physically hunting them and you're just feeding them, I think there's no issues.
Okay, thank you. Just wanted to make sure.
I would try and check that, though.
Fine.
Might be one of those things.
Nope. Not at the state level.
cat food, dog treats, and
Used cat litter, by the way.
Well,
because my neighbor's allergic to peanuts, so I had to stop feeding them peanuts.
AI overview says it's not illegal at the state level, but strongly discouraged by mass wildlife biologists. But specific towns and cities may have local ordinances that prohibit it.
We don't.
We don't.
No.
Yeah.
And Mass Wild doesn't let you have any fun anyway.
And isn't it just the whole idea around bird feeders in general, right? Is that
Yeah, the whole
once
yeah.
you start, they become
directly, yeah.
dependent.
Yeah.
Yeah, they discourage bird feeders on the whole aspect as it makes animals dependent on those.
I suppose if it's random though, like, today, 3 weeks later you do something. Okay then. You've now created a pattern,
For very smart birds. Okay, well, if I never see you all again, because my eyes have been backed up.
Carried away.
They use the leftovers, but they do use crows.
When you stop, they're going to be like, hey,
My car's gonna.
where is it?
We'll drop rocks.
Okay, that's all I got.
Pebbles on your windshield.
Yeah.
What do you got, Jess?
I got nothing.
You got
I got
nothing?
I got a new knee.
Got a
We're
new
happy.
knee?
We're happy. Jess is back.
A knee?
A new knee.
George?
I needed it, by the way.
Nothing. All right.
I needed it.
You needed it? With both hands? All right. I guess we're out. I have nothing either.
Public input?
Does anybody have any public input? All right, hearing none. All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Nay? Oh, unanimous.